Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be showing you how to draw Yoshi. But before we start, if you think of anything while you're drawing this that you want to learn how to draw, feel free to drop a comment below. That way I can work it into a future video for you guys. Alright, so I'm going to start off and I'm going to draw the entire thing in marker. That way it's just a little bit darker and you guys can see it a little bit better. But if you want to draw it in pencil in case you have to erase, that's more than alright. Okay, now to help you guys out, I will be putting a reference photo right here above the Drawing Joshua logo. That way you guys have something to look at while we draw. Okay, so I have my marker here to start. And what I'm going to do is come to the center of the page and I'm going to come up just a little bit and over just a little. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect like that. But, so from here, I'm going to go ahead and basically just draw, it's almost like a circle. I'm just going to stop like there. Okay, and this is gonna be Yoshi's like mouth or nose. Okay, so from here is where we're gonna draw his eyes. All right, so we're gonna come to the top of the circle and we're just gonna draw almost like an oval that curves like this. And it's gonna stop there. All right, then I'm gonna come just like straight down, and this is gonna be his right eye. All right, so it's gonna this. It's going to be roughly the same size, maybe a little bit bigger. And it's just going to come down over like that. All right. Now, I'm going to bring his nose down just a little bit further. And I'm just going to do this line that connects these two like this. And it's going to go past his eyes just a little bit. Then, inside of his eyes, we're going to go ahead and draw his pupils. All right. So, out of his nose, I'm going to go ahead and just draw an oval. Kind of like that. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and draw a pupil on his other eye. So I'm gonna make it roughly the same size. Again, just an oval. Maybe something like that. All right, awesome job so far. Next, let's go ahead and work on kind of the outside of his eyes, all right? So I'm gonna go from this line, I'm just gonna keep coming up. And it's going to come down a little, like this one came down. And I'm actually going to connect this line like that. All right. And then we're going to continue with this line, and we're just going to go up and around, and it's just going to come down like that. Okay. And then let's actually jump down and let's do his mouth here a second, and then we'll kind of connect back. That way we know how far everything goes. Okay. So if you go kind of below his eye, so if you go straight down, you come over just a little, it's going to be where we draw his mouth. So it's just a line like this. And then we're going to come a little bit back over, and this is going to be the start of his body. Okay. All right. So we're going to go from this line now, where we came in. We're going to jump over just a little bit. And this is going to be the other side of his mouth or his face. Okay. So it just kind of curves all the way around like this. It might have one more little bump like that. Okay. All right. Awesome job so far. Now let's go back to his mouth, and I'm going to continue this up just a little bit more. I'm going to give him a smile. Something kind of like that. All right. And then out of like the middle of his smile, maybe like here, I'm just going to draw a line that comes up and curves over, and this is basically just gonna be like a circle, if you can picture that. All right, now I'm gonna give him a couple little nostrils. So these are basically just gonna be little curved lines. So if you almost picture like the letter C, for example, kind of like that. So it's like a backwards C. And then we're just gonna kind of do the opposite shape over here, like that. All right, awesome job. Now let's go ahead and why don't I go ahead and give him some of those little scales on the back, because he's a dinosaur. So from where we did this bump here, I'm going to come up just a little bit. It's just going to curve around and down like that. Then I'm going to go down just a little bit more. I'm going to do another one. It's going to come up and come back down like that. And then we're going to do one more, okay? So come over a little bit, comes up, and comes down like that. Okay, awesome job so far. Next, let's go ahead and work on his body, all right? So let's start on his left-hand side, okay? And then we'll kind of work around a little bit. So from where we ended here, what I'm gonna do is come up a little bit, and this is gonna be where we start to draw his hand. So it's gonna curve over, and then we're gonna come down. This is almost gonna be like his thumb, okay? So it's gonna curve around. Okay. Now, we're gonna go back up over here and just do, it's almost like an oval, okay? And it's just gonna connect back to his thumb like this. And then we're just gonna do another one. And this one, I'm gonna stop right there because we're gonna make it look like he has two clenched fists, okay? So from where we ended here, I'm just gonna do a little curve, and this is gonna be the start of his other hand. But we're gonna go ahead and finish this one first. So from his thumb, I'm just gonna draw this part over like that. All right, then, like I said, we're gonna work on his other hand. So we have this part, it's one of his fingers. Then from here, we're just gonna do a bigger curve up, and it comes down. And then we're gonna kind of do a similar shape on the bottom. So it comes down, and then up. All right, awesome job, you're doing great. Okay, now let's jump back up to where we ended here. And this part here is gonna come straight down like this. Okay, and then we're gonna come over a little bit. This is gonna kind of be like his back, all right? So it's gonna come down, and this is how we know where to do the rest of his arm. So I'm gonna go from here and just bring this back like that, okay? And similar thing with this, it's gonna come up and it's gonna connect over here, but it's gonna get a little bit smaller as we get closer, okay? Now, let's go ahead and why don't we go down here? So by where his other hand ended, we're gonna come down a little bit more. And we'll come back up and we're gonna do his shoe a second. So from where this ended, it's just a curved line like that. Okay, and I'm gonna do one more little curve at the bottom. All right, now let's jump back over here. We're gonna do a second shoe. It's gonna curve up and down like that. And comes back around. And once we get to about the same distance as this one, from away from that, I'm gonna go ahead and put that little one. Like that, okay? So now I can go ahead and take this one and just connect it to that shoe. I'm gonna do the same thing here. All right, awesome. So now let's go ahead and finish his other shoe. So this part comes down, so I'm gonna come up from this a little bit and just cut over. And then it's gonna come down and around like that. I might bring this part down a little bit more. Okay. Now, so we made this curve here. I'm gonna make another curve that comes roughly the same distance down as we did here. So if you wanna use your marker to try to make it level or just wanna eye it, that's okay. And we'll do that little curve like that. All right, so this shoe's gonna look a little bit different in that we're gonna come up like this, and it's gonna swoop up. And then from here, we're gonna just connect it. So I'm gonna kind of do a swooping line like this. So it has a little bit of a curve to it. Something like that. All right, awesome job so far. Next, let's go ahead and work on his tail and kind of his shell, okay? So let's go back up here, and from right here, I'm gonna draw this line that kind of curves down, and then from here, it curves back up. Okay, so if you kind of picture like that curve shape, kind of like that half circle, and from here, I'm gonna go ahead and curve around, and we're gonna try to keep it the same distance the entire way back up to here, okay? So it's just gonna curve around, and it might touch that arm, but that's okay. And it might come around a little bit like that. All right, awesome. Next, we're gonna give him his shell. So from where we ended here, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna do this line that comes up and connects back like that. All right. Then what we're gonna do is give him a tail. So we're gonna come to where we ended here. Just gonna come up to a point. And then what we're actually gonna do is connect it back to almost like the top of his shoe, okay? So this line just comes up. Like that. Okay, now we just have one more thing to add, and that is where this line is. We're just gonna pretend like this continues. And we just do this line kind of like this. That kind of matches the shape of his back, if you kind of picture that. But now we are all done drawing Yoshi, okay? So as you can see from the reference photo, I'm gonna color this in green, and I'll probably give him like a red shell, and I might just outline everything in a little bit thicker black. But you guys are welcome to color them in whatever colors you'd like, or you can pause the video at the end and match the colors that I chose. Guys, so as you can see, I chose to color my Yoshi green, and I kind of gave him some orange shoes and a red shell, but I'd love to see how your drawings turned out. So feel free to tag me on any social media posts, email me at drawingjoshua123@gmail.com. But please remember that drawing does take practice, so practice and practice, and most importantly, always have fun. Thanks, everyone.